For those who have been following my content for a very long time, I'm a big user of tablets because it's an integral part of my workflow. It's something I probably cannot live without now. So I was looking out to see how I could make my setup a little bit more, would I call it powerful? Yes, I got computers that I use, but then a tablet is an integral part of my workflow. And then, of course, we notice this, we use powerful phones, we use phones that are powerful than computers of, 10, 15 years ago. So we should be able to get some desktopy power out of our mobile devices. So today I got something that you can use to make your iPads, your Samsung tabs, devices actually a little bit more useful to you, especially if you don't want to purchase a computer or you're on the go and you want to make your setup a little bit more lively for you on the go. So today I will be reviewing this, the BYEASY 8-in-1 USB-C multi-port docking station. It's something that was sent to me by the brand, but of course they have no input in whatever I'm saying about it, so I will be telling you my honest review about it in today's video. So it's an 8-in-1 USB-C hub and it's claimed to work with Android, iOS, Windows and Mac OS, although I've done my extensive testing now with iPad and my Samsung phone. Yes, my Samsung phone can actually work with it. So it's got 8 ports, ITF port, an SD card slot, a USB-C power delivery port, and then it's got a LAN port at the back, an HDMI port, and then two USB 3.0 ports that supports up to 5 gigabits per second transfer speeds. And then of course it has a 3.5 millimeter for audio service. Also in the box, the packaging is pretty much straightforward. You get the stand, you get a USB-C cable, and then the user manual, and that's all about it on the box. Really, there's nothing so much about it. But the main part of this video today I want to show you is the setup. So I have this currently set up with an iPad 11-inch iPad, and it looks beautiful. So far I've been using it to try to get some presentation ongoing. So if you look here, I'm trying to make a presentation. Of course this is literally not a representation, but of course I have the display, the presenter view up here on the iPad screen, and then I can share the screen in my meetings, which I think is pretty much lovely and good to go, so I can have a more desktopy setup and feel with things. And it looks pretty nice if I press escape. So I'm using this with a Bluetooth keyboard and a Bluetooth mouse, so this makes it a little more powerful. I can do quite an extensive amount of things, and of course I can move whatever I'm working on to the display on just doing that. So I can move my apps from screen to screen to make it really shine out and look good. So I have this connected via HDMI on my portable tablet, but of course you can use this with any monitor you have that supports HDMI and it will work just fine. So at the back of it I have the HDMI plugged in, I have the 100 watts power delivery powering the iPad, and then also powering this monitor stand that I have right here. This is not from the band. This is what I'm reviewing here, the BYEASY dock. And I think from the last few days that I've been using it, it looks pretty nice. I can turn it around, which I think is something that comes in handy if I want to adjust my viewing angle. So this is stood up straight on me, but the general angle I'll normally have it as is a little bit lower than this. That comes this way, so I can sort of have the setup more, would I dare call it more minimal? That is the name I think I'll call it. So more focused setup. So I can have it a little bit to the front here. So give me a moment while I actually do that. So this ideally is the setup I would be using this in, to have my tablet sort of look at me in the face this way. And then of course if I'm going into my meetings I can raise it up to be at my eye viewing angle, so everything looks a little bit more, viewy, if that's the kind of word you would use. And then of course I can move things up, and of course I can adjust the settings in my iPad settings right here. If I go over to the control center, no, not control center, display and brightness, I can go over to the arrangement and then move the setup to show that the iPad is now below, and then the setup just looks pretty much cool that way. And the sweet thing now is if your monitor is touch screen, it just makes life a little bit more easier for you, because you can now touch on your screen. You have two screens you can play with. using touch controls, which I think is really super duper nice for that kind of scenario. Now, talking about the specs, I'm just gonna read this out to you straight from manufacturer, so I'm not saying things that are not right. So 81 ports, I've mentioned that power delivery up to 100 watts, HDMI, LAN up to 1 gigabits per second, USB 3.0, audio, SD, and TF slots. It's compact, it's adjustable. For this, I'll actually be taking it on the road. I'm traveling immediately after this recording, and then I'll be taking it like along with me to sort of test it out. Also, you could use this with not non-tablets like the Mac here, MacBook here, and all that. But it's advisable you don't put things that are heavy on top of it so it doesn't just sort of crumble. I'll use an example here. So I have a MacBook Pro 2016 right here. That's what I've been using. I'm not planning to change my MacBook anytime soon, and it could work on with it if I get it connected. No, I put my Touch ID. I'm logged in now. In a couple of moments, it's a whole laptop. So if I get the USB-C connected here, it would actually charge my MacBook through that port, which I think is nice, and then it will still display. But then the challenge comes when I try to mount this on top of the stand, because I tried it. It works, yeah, if I put it at a particular angle, but then I don't want to stress my Mac that way. I don't want to stress the stand that way. So if I put it a little bit this way, don't mind the stance, I'll have to adjust it also to be to the side now. Yeah, it works, but then there's a lot of strain on top of it. So do not try to not put things that are heavy on top of it this way. It will make it not be so useful to you. So advisable, just use this with tablets. It was made for tablets, although you could use it with super light laptops like the likes of the LG Grams, Samsung books, and Surfaces, and all those kind of super light laptop-y setup. That is what I would generally advise if you're trying to use a laptop with this. It will work with it, but then don't stress it too much. Now, I have my Samsung S21 Ultra here, which I think is nice. So one thing I've tried to do, and I think this is an Android thing and not on the tablet, the PowerPoint thing I was doing previously, I tried to do it on my Samsung phone. It wouldn't work. But then, of course, I don't have a Samsung tablet at the moment to work with, so it wouldn't work. So it just pretty much goes into DeX mode here, which is super awesome. If I connected the same mouse and keyboard to it, I would be able to do just the same thing I was doing with the iPad, just straightforward. But of course, it's bigger than the phone right here, so it wasn't made for phones. But of course, it works with, if you have a nice phone, it works with it. And I think it would also then work, if it works this way, probably work with the iPhone 15 Pro, with the iPhone 15 with USB-C. I think that would just be something that is super nice to so it means you can extend the use of your devices pretty much. And I'm just gonna get this back into position and really get back to work. So if you would ask me what I think about this BYEASY docking station, it's a one docking station, I think it's useful, very useful, to be honest. If you are, I've made a video on portable monitors you can get to make things work. For me, I think I will connect this directly. If I can find a way to get the USB-C directly into the USB port and then have a sort of adapter to it, I would like that, because I don't want to carry it around so much cables and then just have one cable coming into the tablet. But of course, that's something I will experiment with, not in the context of this video. But yeah, powering to HDMI, use the HDMI port straightforward, display goes out that way, and it's pretty duper nice. And then the sweet thing is, you can even add your USBs. For example, this stand I have here from X Layout, the X Central stand, has more USB ports I can use, even if this is not enough for me. So I have this connected to one of the USB 3.0 ports. Then I can plug in my other accessories into some of these ports right here, and then they will just work fine. So if you have another USB dongle you want to use, it just works pretty much okay and good to go. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say about it in this video. I'm just checking my notes to see if I missed something. yeah, pretty much. That was all I wanted to talk about. I decided also not to script this video, well, partly because the tablet I use for teleprompting had water damage. But of course, that's story for another day. I think I'm getting used to these non-scripted videos, and of course, it sounds more natural. And let me know what you think actually. Do you want me to be scripting my unboxing videos like I was doing previously, or do you just want me to say it as it comes to my mind, just like this video? Let me know in the comment section. But I think I love this. So if you have an iPad, you have a Samsung Tab S series, try not to use the Lite or the FE series. They would not work in DeX mode. They will charge, they will do all the accessory stuff, but then they will not extend the display. So I'll actually advise, if you want to get a tablet, so if you see this, you love the setup, but you don't have a tablet and you want to see this kind of setup, research if the kind of device you're getting, iPads or Samsung tablets or any kind of tablet you're getting, supports wired extended display mode. That is one thing you want to find out. It's essential you find that out before you go purchase that tablet. That is an honest thing I'll tell you to do first. So for me, I know it supports from my research S7, S8, S9 Galaxy tablets. It supports the iPads from 10th generation up. The iPad Pros are supported, or any iPad with M chip is supported. I think iPads with A12 Bionic chips. No, that one is for DaVinci Resolve. But of course, do your research before you go purchasing the tablet. I would probably say if you're getting anything produced after 2020 with USB-C, you are safe with your setup. That is what I would generally advise. Don't try to buy something that is super duper old as a tablet device to work with this. So if you have an older tablet, you might want to trade it in or get newer ones. But of course, I'm not advising you on tablets to get or computers to get for your setup. And of course, if you have MacBook ES lightweight laptops, you can use it also with a stand. But of course, I will generally advise to ensure that things are not tilty. Get a keyboard, get a mouse, connect it wirelessly through Bluetooth, or use the USB hub that comes by the side of the hub station. And I think that is really it. If you enjoyed this video, remember give it a thumbs up. And if you have not done so yet, please subscribe to my channel so you do not miss any further videos just like this one. Until I come your way again yet with another video, I would say stay safe and goodbye. I'll see you in another video. I'm back to work.